Well, sons, it appears that your father has engaged in another spectacular hand-to-hand combat at UFC 281 in New York City. Now, a couple of things I'd like to point out. My right foot is extremely swollen. Now, part of that is the altitude on the airplane coming back. Secondly, my face has stitches and 2 black eyes and a lot of swelling. I would like to say I would not engage in the profession that your father has chosen, although it does provide a wonderful life for you.
I'm not raising black children. I'm raising children. I'm not raising black men. I'm raising men. And whether you are black or you are white, no matter what race that
you are 1,000% incorrect. You are indeed raising black children. What you're going to have to realize early on is how you see your kids is not how the world's going to see your kids. Your experiences growing up and your baby's experiences growing up are going to be night and day. It don't matter how you raise them in the house. You have to mentally prepare them for what world is ahead of them. What I mean by that is there are going to be certain looks that these kids get. There are going to be certain stereotypes that these kids get. There are going to be certain treatments that these kids don't get or get due to their skin color. I didn't make the rules. It's just how it goes. These are black children. It's the truth. Their encounters and experiences with the police are going to be different. It's going to be different. There are going to be certain things that they gravitate to naturally that you're not going to be able to explain and understand. Even down to their hair, doing things with their hair and making sure that they have healthy hair or things are different.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about this interview that is going viral, that is sparking a whole lot of backlash from the super pro-black woke revolutionaries. Now, what are the pro-blackity blacks mad about when it comes to this interview? Well, what they're mad about is UFC fighter Michael Chandler adopting black kids and then coming out and saying that he's not raising his kids to be black, right? He's not raising black children. He's just raising children, okay? This is what he's saying, okay? And apparently the pro-blackity blacks don't like that because I guess you're supposed to raise your children to be black if they are black, as if blackness is some type of personality trait. Like, I'm not sure exactly what there is to be upset about with the guy saying, I'm not raising black children, I'm raising children, right? I'm just raising my sons. And you would think that these people will be happy and grateful that a UFC star who's probably very well off financially, has a stable relationship and marriage, you would think that they would be happy that he decided to adopt black children and to give them a better life. But they're not, right? They're upset. They're boohoo, whining, and crying about it. And it's like, well, damn if you do, damn if you don't with these people, okay? So let's listen to what Mr. Chandler said that got the woke revolutionaries so upset, and then we're going to talk about it.
I'm not raising black children. I'm raising children. I'm not raising black men. I'm raising men. And whether you are black or you are white, no matter what race that you are, there are certain things about being a man and being a good man when it comes to character and integrity and safeguarding the helpless and sticking up for those who need it and being a good man of reputation. None of that has to do with skin color. Everything has to do with the character of the man.
Yeah, I think I agree with this, right? I'm not sure exactly what would be the difference between a good white man versus a good black man, right? I think a good man is a good man. If you're a good man, then you're going to be a good man regardless of whether or not you're black or white. I'm not sure exactly what about being black and being a man is different than being white and being a man, okay? I mean, I think being a man, a good man, is just being a good man regardless of your race and skin color. So, again, I agree with him on this, okay? I'm not sure what's so controversial about what he's saying.
And like I said, it's probably probably not an answer that some people would say is important, but that's where the world has gone, where we think that the most important thing about us is our skin color or our gender or our sex or our political affiliation or all these different identity politics or the identities that we put on each other, when really we're just human beings on this earth. And there are certain things about being a good person that transcend skin color and age and sex and religion and all of those different things.
I love that answer. How?
Yeah, it's hard. It's what I feel too. You know, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying but it's me. It's uniquely, that's how I feel about it. So
Have you had any tough questions as of yet from your 7-year-old?
yeah, you know, I mean, there's questions about skin color, obviously, you know, I mean, because it makes a lot of sense, right? It's like whether, and just a call to action for men, you know, right? We grew up on cowboys and Indians and GI Joes and superheroes and stuff. And we all want to feel like a superhero, right? As the male gene, we want to feel like a superhero. And we are a superhero to our children, right? We are a superhero to our children. We are a godlike figure to our children. And we get that opportunity with each and every one of our children that we have. And it doesn't matter where you're at on the socioeconomic ladder or what you have accomplished or who you are a superhero to them. So yes, when my son sees me and he sees me like a superhero, and he can even watch me on TV, and his kids at school say, your dad's going to beat up Conor McGregor. And so I'm like a superhero to him, yet he knows he can't be exactly like me because of skin color, right? I'm sure in his 7-year-old brain, which really he'll understand someday when he's a little bit older, right? So there's the skin color, you know, difference, obviously.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing about that. The skin color difference has nothing to do with who you are as a person in regards to the values that you uphold, how you carry yourself, and your usefulness to society, right? So what his kids are fortunate enough to experience is a father, right, is actually in the household that is showing them through real life examples how to be a man, teaching them how to be a man, and raising them in traditionally masculine ways. Now, I think people should be, you know, grateful that, again, these children were adopted by, again, a masculine man who clearly embraces traditional roles, right? Showing his kids how to be men, because it could be a much different situation if you pay attention to some of these Hollyweird celebrities and how they adopt children and kind of how that goes.
Can we talk about it? Because I've been wanting to talk about this for a very long time, because I actually love Charlize Theron. She has some incredible movies that she has performed in, and it makes me really sad that she has really subjected herself into allowing her adopted child to transition at a very young age. I mean, the child isn't, not that I know of, I don't think the child has gone through hormones or anything like that, because the child is literally 11 years old.
Yeah, so again, it could be a different situation. I'm just saying, it could be a different situation.
How do you handle that? I mean, with one-on-one with him?
You know, I think one-on-one, I think it's the beauty of being a man of faith is we were called for a time and a family such as this. This is exactly how God created us to be. This is exactly how my family unit was supposed to be. Before I was even born, this is exactly how it was supposed to be. Before you were even born, he knew that you were chosen for me and mommy. And he knew that you were going to have your skin color. And he knew that I was going to have my skin color. And there's beauty in that. And it's unique to a lot of people. It might be foreign to some people, but it is absolutely beautifully God ordained. And it's something that is going to be a part of our testimony. It's something that is making impacts through a butterfly effect that we don't even understand yet, whether it be people that see me from afar, people that see the way that I love you, the differences that we do have compared to if we did have the exact same skin color and the exact same eyes and the exact same hair. This is exactly the way God created you, and you were created in God's image, and you were created for so much more than you can ever think or imagine. And God has commissioned me and chosen me to be your dad. And the most important thing that I can be is your dad. And I tell him every single night, I whisper it into his ear, and he probably gets tired of hearing it, but I thank him. I'm like, I thank you so much for being my son, and I am so proud to be your dad. And I just think I didn't get that as much when I was a kid. My parents loved me so much, but they didn't really make me feel like I could run through that wall. They didn't really make me feel like I could go across those county lines and go anywhere across the world and do anything I want to. And I want my children to unlock something inside of themselves to make them believe that they can do anything. And I pray that prayer over them every single night. You are Hap Chandler. You are Ace Chandler. When you walk into a room, people take notice. When you speak, people listen. When you walk in a certain direction, people will follow. You are a child of God. You are the head, not the tail. You are above and not beneath. And you are chosen for a time such as this. And I am so proud to be your father. And the best thing that we can do is pour into these kids, because if I could be a superhero to him, but somehow that superhero believes in him more than the superhero believes in himself, then what can't he accomplish, And it's so much bigger and so much deeper and so much more impactful than our differences, our skin color, the things that are different about us, because we're so much more the same than we are different.
Wow. That's some powerful stuff. Now, again, I don't think there's anything that he said there that should be controversial, right? I don't think that anybody should listen to that and have an issue with it, but we live in 2024, and apparently there are people that have issues with it, right? So again, this thread went viral here, and reading the comments really makes you lose faith in humanity, right? So let's read here. This person, whose name is "I'm proud to be a black man," but something else. Okay, so we already know what we're getting here. It says, why do white people adopt black children? There are white children with no parents, and they always pick the black kids. I think they believe they'll get some love or perhaps a pass. I don't know. Shit is weird. So apparently a white man adopting black children is weird, right? Again, this is a take here, right, that some people agree with. And then you have this person right here, Nico Johnson. He says, I think his heart is in the right place, but I hope he doesn't have to learn the hard way that raising children of color is different. Yes, you should raise them to be honest, upstanding men/women, but all it takes is one incident with people who are not such, and all that stuff goes out the window because it'll boil down to the color of their skin. A lot of white people are oblivious to this. Doesn't mean they're bad or don't care, but if you are white and are raising children of color, it is your responsibility to understand, educate yourself, and if need be, talk to black fathers. Okay, so I find this whole conversation argument to be fascinating for various reasons, right? Because this guy is white, okay, and because he is white, these woke revolutionaries would acknowledge that he doesn't know what it's like to be black, but yet they expect him to raise his black children as if they are black, right? Raising them to be black, or raising black children, he needs to acknowledge the reality of their blackness. But I'm not entirely sure how he's supposed to raise his kids to be black, or as if they are black children, when he doesn't know what it's like to be black. Like, how is that possible, right? How is that possible? And I guess, again, this person is saying, well, if need be, you need to talk to black fathers. But I'm not entirely sure exactly what insights is he going to get from a black father that is going to make him a better father than the insights that he's going to get just being their father in general, right? I mean, to me, just listen to him talk, it sounds like he got it figured out. It sounds like he's probably a better father than most fathers out there. I'll go even further than that to say it sounds to me that he's teaching his kids not to be a victim. Because that's what they're getting at here, guys, right? What they're actually really getting at here is that, well, there are experiences that certain black people go through that white people don't. And it's racism, right? AKA victimhood. And you have to raise your kids to be victims because they are victims due to their skin color, right? Just the fact they're black and you're white means that they're going to have a harder life than you, right? Just because they're black. And you can't raise them and ignore that reality that they're victims of the system, right? This is essentially what they're saying without actually really saying it. But this is what they mean, okay? This person who responds says, exactly, it's great he's raising them, but you are raising black children because they are black, and their experiences, no matter how much you try to shield them, will be based on how the world sees them. They'll say, quote, I don't see color, even though they've done nothing to dismantle, abolish the culture of white supremacy and Christo-fascism within their white communities, within a nation where the rights of black Americans are always under attack by Christo-fascists in political power. Yeah, see, nothing but victimhood. Straight victimhood. Exactly. They don't understand because they never experienced it. They can't explain something they've never experienced. These black kids need to know what they're going to face outside of the four walls in the real world. See, again, what really blows my mind is that, like, if there's anybody that's more equipped to help their sons deal with adversity, right, that they're going to face, it would be this guy. This guy's a UFC fighter. This guy faces adversity every single day, right? I mean, probably the toughest form of adversity that you can face in life as a man, which is to engage in combat that could potentially be deadly with a man. That's what he does for a living. So I think that he knows how to teach his kids how to deal with adversity, right? I think he would know so probably more than, again, the average father out there, to be quite honest with you, regardless of their skin color and their race, just given what he does for a living. I was thinking this same ish. 9 times out of 10, the world won't give you a chance to show them your character when you're a black man. They'll just see your black skin. Why did he adopt black children in the first place? Wow, apparently, again, if you're white, you're not supposed to adopt black children. They just rather the children go hungry, right? Just leave them in the orphanage, okay? Just leave them in a shelter. Don't adopt them if you're white, right? This is what they're saying. This is what they're putting out there. Don't give them a good life, right? Oh, man, this is sad. It really is. This person, Kalishi, says, most of the replies are, quote, but how will they survive racism? The larger crime here is being black while robbed of blackness. He's robbing them too, not just failing to protect. He is both cheating these 2 boys out of culture identity and leaving them unprepared for the world. Wow. This is not shocking, right? It's really not shocking, because the people that boohoo, whine, and cry about racism the most always tend to be the most racist, okay? They're projecting, okay? Because this is what it sounds like to me. It sounds like these people really don't believe that white people should be able to adopt black children. Now, here's the thing about the whole raising kids to be a victim thing. I actually think that that's bad, right? If raising your kids to be black or raising them as black children means raising them to be a victim, then nobody should raise their kids to be black or as black children or black kids. Why do I say that? Well, it's because ultimately that is what's going to hold a child behind, right? Raising a child to be a victim is going to hold them behind, right? If you're telling them that, hey, you can't get ahead in the world because of your skin color and your race, then why even try? Why try? How are you supposed to self-evaluate and to get better and to grow as an individual if you think that all of the bad things that are happening to you in life is because of your skin color? And it doesn't have anything to do with your own actions. In fact, I would go as far as to argue that this guy raising his kids not to be that way is advantageous to them, because when they face adversity, regardless of whether or not it's racism or whatever, right? Let's say, for example, they don't get a job, okay? Instead of saying, well, my interviewer was racist, that's why I didn't get the job, they may say, you know what did I do that I could have done better? What could I have said that I could have said in a different way? How could I have presented myself in a way that could have changed the outcome of this job interview? What skills do I need to develop to make myself more marketable? Okay, you think about actual real ways to self-improve instead of just blaming everybody else and trying to say, well, it's the world's fault. It's because I'm black. This is why I didn't get this job. This is why I didn't get this opportunity. This is why I'm not succeeding, instead of self-evaluating and self-improving. Because ultimately, in America, the reason why you may not be successful really doesn't have that much to do with your skin color, right? Your skin color is not holding you back. I don't care what these people say. It's not. Racism may exist here, but it's not prevalent enough to hold any one individual back from achieving what they want to achieve if they put in the work. What's really holding people back, again, is their laziness, their inability to apply themselves, to be able to fight through adversity and not to blame everybody else, but to say, how can I change what I'm doing in order to get the outcome that I want? I think that's the way that he's probably going to raise his kids. He's not going to raise his kids to see themselves as victims. And because of that, they're going to have an advantage. They're going to think differently. And that's part of the reason why the black community, I think, in my opinion, can't really get ahead, is because of this victim mentality. It's this nonstop, constant reminder of slavery, victimhood, Jim Crow, segregation, systemic racism. That's all it is. It's nothing but negatives. Victim, 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 victim. Well, if the world is so against you, then why even try, right? Why even get up in the morning and go to work, or to, try to get ahead, and why? If you can't make it, right? If everybody hates you so much just because of your skin color. I don't get it. This is why you got to have a more of a positive attitude, man. You need to have the mentality of a conqueror, not a slave. Black people are too obsessed with this slave mentality, and then they question why they're not conquering anything, right? Why are you not conquering nothing? Because you're too busy being obsessed with how you're a victim, right? Once you stop thinking you're a victim and you start thinking that, nah, I'm a conqueror, right? I can do whatever I want to do, right? Then your outcomes will change, right? Your life will change for you. But again, you know, that's not what these people understand. That's not what they want. Okay. And again, this guy right here, this UFC fighter, he's clearly trying to raise his sons with the mentality needed for them to be successful. And these people have a problem with it. They're boohoo whining and crying about it. Right. But you're raising black boys who will become black men. They can have character and integrity, but they also must know the harsh realities of this cruel country of America. No amount of color blindness is going to take away from that. Yeah, I'm calling CPS. Again, people up here accusing this man of abuse, right? Listen to this. This person says, this is literally setting the tone for what could be major psychological issues for these children. These children will look in the mirror every day and see that they are black, telling them something different from what they literally see and will experience is not productive. Yeah, so in my opinion, I think that this is weird, right? I think it's extremely weird for people to be worried about how other people are raising their kids not to see themselves as victims, right? I'm just saying, in my opinion, I think that he's doing the right thing, but I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong, right? Maybe I'm just not really black, so I don't know, okay? Maybe I'm missing something here, but I don't think so. I think that these people are just obsessed with every black person believing they're a victim, and when they see that they're black kids that have been raised not to be victims, to see themselves as more than just slaves and victims of the system, the woke revolutionaries get upset, right? They boo-hoo, whine, and cry about it. I really don't get it. I think it's weird. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.